Man, I love Mega Man 3. Top Man, you're going down.
Hi, I'm Zelda, Miketendo's cat. Here he goes again, playing Mega Man 3. Ugh. This guy's probably beaten this game more times than he's gotten laid. I wish he'd play something I really like. Maybe if I use my cat powers of persuasion. Yeah, it's a real thing. Don't look at me like that. Fine, just roll the intro already. Okay, Miketendo, you will now play Chu Chu Rocket.
Hey Zelda, who's the little pretty princess kitty? Yes you are.
Ugh, it's not working. Okay, try harder. Play Chu Chu Rocket!
I'm in the mood to play Chu Chu Rocket. Weird.
Success! The power of felines compels you.
While it certainly has an unbelievably adorable name, Chu Chu Rocket is heavy on the charm with gameplay that will keep you coming back for hours. With plenty of gameplay modes to choose from, an amazing soundtrack, and simplistic graphics, Chu Chu Rocket delivers the goods all around. While there are some problems with playing this game in a post-millennial generation due to advancements in technology, it still feels, sounds, and plays like it did back in 2000. And that could be good or bad. You decide. Chu Chu Rocket released initially on the Sega Dreamcast, and later received a Game Boy Advance port, which we won't be talking about here. The game was developed by Yuji Naka of Sonic the Hedgehog fame, and his development group, Sonic Team, and released to mostly positive, well-deserved reviews. Its premise is simple. You control armies of mice, also known as choo-choos, with the A, B, X, and Y buttons on your controller. Get the mice into the rockets before the cats, or kapu-kapus, can get them. If one single mouse falls in a hole, it's game over. If a cat manages to catch a mouse or touch the rocket, it's game over.
Oh, I'll get those mice. Just you watch me.
The concept is easy to learn, yet difficult in practice depending on the mode of the game that you choose. There's quite a bit of variety added to the game in the surplus of gameplay modes. Though there are some that are dated due to the age of the hardware that it's on, others still remain as challenging, addicting, and rewarding as they always have been. If you're like me, you rarely had a chance to have 4 people all at your house at once to play video games. Sure, there were rare situations when that would occur, but they'd always want to play wrestling video games like WWF Attitude or shooters like GoldenEye. I was of the age where people were getting out of video games, and yet I was still into them. Nothing against those games, but sometimes the frantic fun of games like Chu Chu Rocket challenged both the mind and body of each player. I mostly stuck with puzzle mode, as it allowed me to learn the best ways to play the game with the most amount of room for error. Using the buttons for arrows you are supplied, for example receiving only a down arrow in a puzzle, you're able to place it in a location that will allow the mice to reach their destination safely. You can let the puzzle run its course by pressing the right trigger, or speed it up by double tapping it. You can cancel by pressing the left trigger. Each puzzle holds a new challenge that allows gamers to flex their mental muscles to think before placing an arrow down. There's almost always only one way to win each puzzle, but seeing that rocket blast off with those mice inside is so rewarding, especially after a harder level. You have two options for 4-player cat vs mouse carnage, versus mode and team battle. Versus is every player for themselves, and team battle allows you to buddy up and attack. To be honest, the computer AI is pretty smart, so if you're low on friends but still want to play, you'll still have a blast with non-human interactions. This mode is where the game changes gears and goes completely frantic. You control the direction of your arrows, and the purpose of multiplayer is to get as many mice into your rocket within the time limit. What makes this brilliant, though, is that you can not only send mice into your own rockets, but also direct cats into your opponents, leading to some hilarious results. Players begin to scramble and struggle with the constant flow of cats into their rockets, or have the mice leave the path they've set up and go right into the other player's locations. They pour out from their bases in hopes of getting some direction from the player, and the results are quite humorous. You can piss your friends off by putting arrows that point away from their base so that the mice never come in. There's a solid balance in this method of play that has a great party atmosphere, and what really helps with that is the roulette wheel that appears. It has a variety of bonuses that it can hit, such as Cat Mania, which releases nothing but cats from the bases, Everybody Move, which forces your rocket to relocate to another spot on the board, causing confusion, and can even up the playing field if there's a flood of mice heading into a specific base. There's also Mouse Mania, which produces a megaton of mice for players to fight over.
A megaton of mice? Sounds delicious.
There's a large variety of shifts that the game can go through when playing multiplayer. You can go from winning to losing in a matter of 30 seconds. Sometimes the game can feel like a crapshoot, as the roulette wheel of bonuses can help or hinder depending on what it lands upon. To help keep some players from falling behind, there will be golden mice worth 50 points that acts as a bit of a rubber banding effect. It's certainly strange to say that about a puzzle game, but that's what makes this game feel at times less like a puzzle and more like a party game. It's a blast to play with friends, but it's also a wonderful single-player game for those who may want to slow the party down a bit. All the modes play somewhat differently while keeping the core mechanics the same, and that is just smart design all around. Kudos, Sonic Team! While the puzzle mode in single player is its own beast, there's also the stage challenge, which can really test your skills. The countdown clock begins and you only have a certain amount of time to get the mice into the rocket. Some of these later levels are just brutally difficult. Where this game feels tragically dated, however, is its internet option mode. This was one of my first experiences playing a video game on the internet. Hearing the buzz and chirps of my 56K modem blast out while connecting to the internet, and having to wait until midnight to get the best connections with total strangers. It was problematic at the time, as there were no patches to release, and so most gamers just dealt with the hassle of a constant struggle of connection issues. However, I have fond memories of this mode despite the technological problems, and just scrolling past this section gets me excited! Then I immediately remember that it's been 15 years since I played this online regularly. And then I just get sad when I realize that it's not the 90s anymore and I'm not 17, I'm in my 30s talking about a damn cat and mouse puzzle game. So, much has changed with technology that even a system like the Sega Dreamcast, which pushed the boundaries of what online gaming could become, have grown impossible to play in the modern era. This is a shame, as it's one of the best ways to play the game, and I miss it terribly.
I was probably -12 when this game came out.
You weren't even a kitty zygote back then.
Wait, you knew I could talk this whole time?
You didn't? There's not much to talk about regarding graphics, but I certainly don't think that we need to discuss them in depth. If you're keeping in mind the type of game this is, graphics aren't as important in the game, and it doesn't revolve around high-end graphics. The core experience is more about the gameplay, and that's the way it should be, in my opinion. I love this game's soundtrack. Chu Chu Rocket's themes are bouncy, playful mixes of drum and bass and warm synths that keep you in the mood to continue playing. Each song matches the mode you decide to venture into. Puzzle mode is more of a funk jazz experience, whereas the multiplayer music is non-stop dance with songs that stop on a dime to speed up, slow down, or completely turn around. The composer, Tomoya Otani, is no stranger to these types of soundtracks, creating music for rhythm games like Rhythm Thief on the Nintendo 3DS and Space Channel 5 Part 2 on the Dreamcast, amongst many other non-rhythm-based popular Sega games. Chu Chu Rocket is a blast. It's fun with friends, it's a fun single-player puzzle experience, it's just quality classic gaming that harkens back to the days when realistic graphics didn't matter, frame rates weren't an issue, controls were so simple that developers had to get it right the first time, and you were more concerned with enjoying yourself than immersing yourself into a deep storyline. It was cute, it was chaos, and it was Chu Chu Rocket. It's an essential for all Dreamcast owners. Man, I love Chu Chu Rocket!
Me too. I'm glad you see things my way. Now, how about we fix the fact that you can hear me permanently?
Oh, Butterfingers.